Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. This passage comes from the work of Viktor Frankl. He was a Holocaust survivor and the author of Man's Search for Meaning. And what impacted me deeply when I read his book and found out about his life, and even in the most extreme and dehumanizing circumstances, he observed something quite remarkable, that we as human beings still have the ability to choose how we respond, that we can connect to something deeper and much more conscious. Later, this concept was also found in the iconic management book by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective, and how he talked about the difference between how we respond. So think about reactive responses, which are often very automatic. They come from stress and primary emotion, and often without thought or contemplation. You know this reactive response because it feels very primal and often not what you would have wanted. But proactive responses, they start with a bit of a pause, a moment of awareness, a breath that you can take in between. You become aware of what's happening and how you'll respond to it, no matter how triggering it is, or at least you're aware of that trigger. I notice how relevant this is in everyday life. At work, for example, you're snapping back at a colleague, you feel irritated, you're responding in a way that feels uncontrollable in that moment. But also in our relationships, and for example, moments with our family, or as Elizabeth Gilbert so beautifully worded once, which is, our families are our greatest spiritual teachers, since they know exactly how we feel and what words will pull up this reactive response. And think about it. How quickly do we respond without noticing what is happening inside of us due to the situation or the stimulus? And responsibility literally means the ability to respond. In that short moment that we know that we can respond, in that pause, we can constantly choose our response over and over again. Now, I'm not saying that we should deny our emotions, and I'm still trying to learn to fully embrace my emotions, which is a work in progress. But what if, just for a moment, we pause before acting on our primary emotions? Even taking one extra second can make the difference, whether a situation escalates or is mediated and de-escalated. So here's a question I want to ask. Where in my life could I take a pause before responding, just to create a little difference in the outcome? And what might be possible if I gave myself that space and that room to breathe before responding?